It is an honor to have my peers ask me to give a speech, though perhaps unsettling. If there was any indication that people wanted this speech to be short, for example, it is the fact that out of our stage of 106 people, you all selected the one guy who lost his voice. And when I was selected, I was literally gargling salt water. In any case, there is not enough time for a proper story. But more than the odd nature of being selected, it is unsettling to define just what this moment is. Some could say a graduation of sorts, or the beginning of a journey, but given the level of fear, I'm going to go with funeral. And if you hate the comparison, you can bury me later. But I think it works in 4 ways. The first way is that in one sense we mark the death of CBT. The family-like bonds we built over a tea of Dodderja, dysentery, and so much sugar it could kill a hummingbird. And if such a tea had bubbles, and in Morocco it always has bubbles, perhaps it's the refuge we sought at Hub and McDonald's, or the sister/brotherhoods of the traveling cast groups. In that way we toast this glass to an end. So second, like any funeral, the moment is bittersweet. On one hand, we are sad to see the end of CBT, but on the other hand, there is so much life to celebrate. Whether it's the Dodderja we've developed, or the connections with people that cannot be broken by distance, this is a moment to celebrate and be grateful for. The third is the fear of what's to come, the concern of whether this is it, and as good as it gets, as well as, for lack of a better word, the faith that it takes to carry on. Now, whether that's faith in yourself or what's to come is up to you. I have no answers or forecast, but amidst the uncertainty, consider the following. There are about 300 million Americans. The Peace Corps operates in 63 countries and Morocco is its only country in the Middle East, North Africa region, where as of today, about 150 volunteers will serve in local communities and directly represent the United States. But by this number, only 110 of us were asked to serve in this election year, and only 106 are currently doing so. Most people get a funeral, but even if we set aside our final sights and personal backgrounds, your experience is only shared by 0.00003% of the population. So though I cannot comfort you or quell your fears, I can remind you of how unique of a privilege this is, and of a story this will become, and urge you to recognize that this is worth it. Furthermore, this was an election year, and regardless of how we feel or where we stand, it is objective to say that this particular competition of ideas and rhetoric directly concerned this region and its people. But America and its individualism are more than the ideas of individuals. They are defined and connected by a fabric of individuals who have ideas. So given the year and the fact that Morocco is Peace Corps' only Menacite, let there be no doubt that your ideas and work have never been more important or profound when directly representing the United States that you believe in, as only 0.00003% of the population will do so. The fourth and final way is admittedly personal, but in fact, it is rather fitting that the last time I was asked to speak, just weeks before we flew to Philadelphia, it was at the funeral of the person I will always love most in this world. And given the level of fear regarding service, I know this person would tell us to embrace even the hardest parts of our lives, and would say along the following, as this person did, that, quote, "It is precisely in the places that we have known pain that we have known strength. Scar tissue is stronger than other tissue. By grace we grow together in hard times because we have to. Necessity impels us. We might wish with all our hearts that things were otherwise, but we cannot deny that we have learned and what we have learned and how we have grown from what we have endured. We shrink when we hide ourselves away with our sorrows. We grow when we share them with others." Now, at only 23, I am far too young and unwise to offer original insight. But while I once spoke at the funeral of someone I will always love most, I am humbled to speak in front of so many people who have learned to love each other faster than I have ever thought possible. And I am blessed to consider myself one of them, a group we care about, support, and can share our sorrows with. So I thank you, and for what it's worth at a funeral, I wish you nothing but the best.